Welcome back for number 7 from our series in hymn stories entitled Angels from the Realms of Glory. Angels from the realms of glory, wing your flight o'er all the earth. Ye who sang creation's story, now proclaims Messiah's birth. Come and worship, worship Christ the newborn King. Shepherds in the fields abiding, watching o'er your flocks by night. God with man is now residing, yonder shines the infant light. Come and worship, worship Christ the newborn King. Sages, leave your contemplations, brighter visions beam afar. Seek the great desire of nations, ye have seen his natal star. Come and worship, worship Christ the newborn King. Saints before the altar bending, watching long in hope and fear. Suddenly the Lord descending in his temple shall appear. Come and worship, worship Christ the newborn King. So the author of Angels from the Realms of Glory is James Montgomery from 1771 to 1854. The composer for the music on this song was Henry Smart from 1813 to 1879. The tune name is To Regent Square, and the meter reading is 87, 87, 87. And our scripture reference for this hymn is Luke chapter 2, verse 9, and lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. When one recalls important contributors to the development of English hymnody, the names of Isaac Watts, generally titled the father of English hymnody, and Charles Wesley, provider of approximately 6,500 texts, are usually acclaimed the most important. Next to these two spiritual leaders, however, is commonly agreed by students of hymnology that no writer has made a greater contribution to English hymnody than has James Montgomery. A foremost authority in hymnology, John Julian, has written, Montgomery's devotional spirit was of the noblest type. With the faith of a strong man, he united the beauty and simplicity of a child. Richly poetic with exuberance, dogmatic with uncharitableness, tender without sentimentality, elaborate with diffusiveness, and richly musical without apparent effort. He has bequeathed to the church wealth which could only come from true genius and a sanctified heart. James Montgomery's parents were Moravian missionaries to the West Indies. While attending a Moravian seminary in England, young James received word of the sudden death of both his parents on the mission field. James left the seminary suddenly and for a period lived a life of aimless discouragement. Soon he became interested in newspaper work and writing. At the age of 23, he was appointed editor of the weekly Sheffield Register in London, maintaining this position for the next 31 years. As editor of this paper, Montgomery championed many different causes, such as the abolition of slavery. He was ever ready to assist the poor and defend the rights of the downtrodden. Twice he was imprisoned for writing on controversial issues. In 1797, he published a volume of poems called Prison Amusements, so named from the fact that many of these works had been written in prison. In 1825, he gave up his paper to devote himself solely to literary and philanthropic pursuits, including the promotion of foreign missions, a cause always dear to his heart. By 1833, his integrity and worth were widely recognized throughout his homeland, and he was awarded an annual pension of $1,000 by the government as a reward for his many contributions to English society. Angels from the Realms of Glory first appeared as a poem in Montgomery's newspaper on December 24th, 1816. Later, it was published in a hymnal called Montgomery's Original Hymns and was known as Good Tidings of Great Joy to All People. Many students of hymnody have acclaimed this as one of our finest Advent hymns. In all, Montgomery wrote approximately 400 hymns, including According to Thy Glorious Word, and the composer of this tune, known as Regent Square, was Henry Smart, born on October 26, 1813 in London, England. Although largely self-taught, Smart was recognized as one of the finest organists and composers in the British Isles in his day. He was totally blind for the last 15 years of his life, yet he continued to play and write some of the finest music. Regent Square was written during this period of blindness. The tune was composed especially for a hymnal being compiled by Dr. Hamilton, pastor of London's Regent Square Presbyterian Church, known as the Cathedral of Presbyterianism in London. Smart dedicated his new tune to this church. Smart's advice in new organ installations was also frequently sought in both England and Scotland. He designed and built some of England's finest organs. Henry Smart, also the composer of the Lancashire tune used for the hymn text, Lead on, O King, Israel, Eternal. Thank you for tuning in with me today for this latest edition of Hymn Stories number 7, Angels from the Realms of Glory. Until next time, have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye for now.